Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Sports Fix. It's your boy Victor Maestro and you in the mix, man, with the Sports Fix. And for all of y'all that's tuned in right now, I want to thank y'all from the bottom of my heart. And I want y'all to do me a favor. If you're not subscribed, I need you to stop what you're doing right now and hit that subscribe button. And if you already subscribed, hit the like, comment, and please, man, share this. Because we want this message to get out to everybody about what we doing here at the Sports Fix. We doing education on another level, man. We want to let the people know that we, the black people, we have positive contribution to society. They just been overlooked. So with that said, let's get back into it. We have been covering iconic figures in the black community. This is a two-part show. So, you know, due to the significance and overall magnitude of Mr. Pollard, I think that it's only fitting to that he have his own show. So let's get into it. Fredrick Douglas Fritz, aka Fritz, was born in January 27, 1894, and died May 11, 1896. He was one of the first players and the first black coach in the NFL. Now, I did state this earlier that this would be a two-part show because Mr. Pollard wasn't alone in being one of the first players. He was actually joined by Bobby Marshall. But like I said, we'll get back into that in the second edition of this. They were the first two, of course, that would break the barrier in football. Football pioneer once, Walter Camp, said Pollard was one of the greatest runners he had ever seen. Pollard attended school at Albert G. Lane Manual Training High School, which is located in Roscoe Village neighborhood of the north side of Chicago, Illinois, also known as Lane Tech. He also starred in football, baseball, and ran track. He was a beast. He then went on to star at Brown University, where he majored in chemistry. Brown played halfback on the Browns football team that went to the 1916 Rose Bowl. He was the first black football player at Brown. He was the first black running back to be named to Walter Camp's All-American team. He would later go on to play professional football with the Akron Pros, the team that he would lead to the NFL. It was at this time it wasn't NFL. It was called the APFA, which stood for the American Professional Football Association. He would take them to the championship in 1920. In 1921, he became the co-head coach of the Akron Pros while still holding down the running back position. That was crazy in itself because you think about all the adversity he was facing at this time. So not only was you having to get yourself together, but then you was having to know the playbook and teach it to your teammates at the same time while maintaining the game. And that's in itself would be a lot for even a normal person to handle, let alone a head coach. He had an illustrious career that would see him play for 5 different teams. His coaching career didn't stop though. Sources indicated that in 1922, he was on Budget Garrett's Milwaukee Badgers coaching staff. In 1923 and 1924, he would serve as head coach for the Hammond Pros. But you know, it seems like at these times when you know the black athletes would catch their foot, it always was something happen. But in his case, Pollard, along with all 9 of the black NFL players at the time, were removed from the league, never to be seen again. So that's crazy. You know, the first question I would ask is why even do that? You know, why suspend the players? What did they do? Was it because of domination? Was it because it wasn't fair? What was it? But I mean, just think about the NFL now. If it took all the greatest players, when you think about NFL, you're like, okay, these are the greatest players in the game. So you take that out, then what do you have? Second best. But that didn't kill his tribe though, because he would spend his free time organizing all black squads. Take for instance the Chicago Blackhawks in 1928 and the Harlem Brown Bombers in the 30s. He also coached at Lincoln University during the 1918 to 1920 season, and also served as the athletic director of the school's World War I era Student Army Training Corps. So just imagine that. He helped the civilian, regular folks like myself, and also Army recruits. So that means he had something. In 1918 and 1919, he would lead the team to a winning season and would defeat Howard University Bisons 13-0 in the annual Thanksgiving Classic, as well as Hampton University 7-0 on November 9th, 1918, and a team full of military recruits at Camp Dixon 19-0 on November 2nd, 1918. And Camp Upton, he would beat the doors off of them. They would beat the doors off of them 41-0. In the fall of 1920, he began to play for Akron. He would miss key Lincoln losses to Hampton 0-14 and Howard 0-42. So that means when he didn't play, they lost, and then they lost sometimes, it was lost big. And of course, this was much to the dismay of the alumni and administration. Pollard would go on to criticize Lincoln administration, saying that they had hampered his ability to coach and refused to provide adequate travel accommodations for the team. Prior to the Hampton game, the team was, they had to go to Hampton by boat, sleeping on the deck and under portholes. Now that's crazy. Now you would think that do they have, public transportation, we can do this here, but at the time that was not the case. So athletes now, you got it made, because back then they made it hard on the black athlete to do anything. They had their foot on their neck. He would later inform a reporter, and I quote, "No cabins were provided, nor were we given a place to sleep after reaching Hampton." So that means we had to do all this here and show up and play. And guess what would happen? They lost the game because of lack of rest. He also blamed the school for poor equipment they had to use. He himself bought and paid $200 out of his own pocket for football shoes that you think the team would buy. He missed the 1920 Howard game, he said, because his Lincoln salary base was so low that he was compelled to augment it, or make it greater, with pay from Akron. That's crazy. So he had to put two incomes together to make it happen, because without one, it was tough. So that means not only was he out there putting it down, but he wasn't getting compensated greatly for it. You would think that he would be a losing coach, but he wasn't. In 1913, he founded the Brown Bombers. This man here had a legacy, man, unlike others. He contributed on the field, off the field, but then even after he was retired, his achievements spanned far and wide. And one of them was creating the Bombers, which had an eight-year run that would be ended in 1938 due to the Great Depression. But that wouldn't stop him. Pollard would go on to several other lucrative ventures, which include a talent agency, a tax consultant, and film and music production. He produced the Rock and Blues in 1956. He was the DJ Khaled of his time. Pollard also published New York's first black-owned tabloid in New York, and it was named the New York Independent News. In 1981, he received the Honorary Doctorate of Law, LLD, recognized his achievements as an athlete and leader. In 2005, Fritz Pollard was posthumously inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. In 2015, he was also inducted into the Rose Bowl Hall of Fame. Pollard appeared as a free agent on Madden NFL 9 and 10, and is also part of the game's Hall of Fame feature. The Fritz Pollard Allegiance group is a group promoting minority hiring throughout the NFL. Is also named for Pollard. Brown University and the Black Coaches Administration co-sponsored the annual Fritz Pollard Allegiance, which is presented to the college or professional coach by the BCA. As Coach of the Year, his head coaching record was 10-2-1. So, let's just put this in perspective. He was a guy that was given the list and expected to do the most, and he performed under all these conditions. So we at the Sports Fix, we got to salute you, because you were one of the pioneers that helped to pave the way for athletes that are playing in today. We're in week 1 of the NFL, so we had to start this week off by honoring a true legend and a true pioneer, because without you, we wouldn't be looking at black athletes on TV. So all you young athletes, when y'all out there doing what you do, just make sure you pay homage to Mr. Pollard, because he was one of the ones. And he wasn't no Wayne Denner, but he was one of the ones that just didn't do it for himself, but he did it for those around him. Because even when they outlawed him, he did what it takes to put a black product on the field, and we salute you for that. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I hope y'all come back. I hope y'all checked out, and if you didn't go back and check out the NFL, the breakdown of week 1, it was very, very, very good. And we want to thank you for the views and the likes and all that. And we want to thank you for just being part of the team. But we'll be back with the recap of the breakdown to see if how our choices went. Was we winners or losers? Because Thursday night game was special, but it went as planned. So we'll see. Is this a week of planned, or is it gonna break up? With that, I'm Victor Maestro, and this has been another exciting episode of Unsung Black Sports Heroes, and we'll be back. Peace and prosperity to anybody watching this video.